Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news and transfer news as we delve into what is going on with United, that meeting with Lisandro Martinez, what's happened in that meeting. Literally, I've been told that there's a deal ready to be announced by Manchester United. It could happen any time. Obviously, the kicker is always, as I said on Twitter, it's United and they might take another month. We'll talk about that. There's also a bit of breaking news coming out in relation to Cristiano Ronaldo. That's why I'm a little bit late, but even now I'm not 100% sure this is correct and what time context it has. So we'll talk about Ronaldo as well. And we'll dive a lot into this Frenkie de Jong deal because I think deal or no deal, deal off or deal on is a good topic point. And I want to get into loads of your questions as well because we haven't done that for a long time. But before we get into all of that, as you can see, the show is sponsored by Manscaped. You can scan the QR code with your phone and you will get 20% off plus free shipping worldwide. Manscaped, thank you very much for sponsoring the show. If you don't know what Manscaped is, it really is about it being summer and you wanting to feel cool. It's so hot in the UK at the moment. If I can shed some weight and get that bare body on in the breeze even better, then I'm going to do it. And Manscaped is the way to do it. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. That's what Manscaped's all about. Precision tools for your family jewels. So, yes, check out Manscaped, as I said, 40% off. They've also got their performance package where you can get one of these as well, which is the nose trimmer. If you get ear hair, I'm not going to be ageist, you might be getting them at 21. I feel sorry if you do, but it works for that as well. You get the crop preserver, the crop reviver, performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold your goodies. Their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. It's got adjustable lengths, it's got a light for a more precise shave, and it uses electromagnetic induction charging, so it's wireless, which is fantastic as well. You also get in 20% off plus free worldwide shipping when you use the code United Stand. I've been doing integrations of Manscaped for a long time. There's a lot of things I could say about it apart from the fact I use it myself. It's fantastic products. I've been using them for 18 months ever since I got this one sent through. Not this one, and I have washed it, but fantastic products. Do check it out. 20% off and free worldwide shipping. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. And there's not a lot more I can say. Some of you might get a bit embarrassed about it because you're thinking, oh, he's talking about trimming my hair down there. But it's like trimming the hair up here if you've got it. Makes you feel cool and refreshed and, makes a big difference. Big being the emphasis word. So check it out. Don't check it out. But I tell you what, if you do check it out, you'll like it. Use the code. Hello Mark, my name is Aman. When will you upload your next career mode video on YouTube and when do you think we will sign Frenkie de Jong? Well, Cristiano Ronaldo, thank you very much for that super chat. The next episode's up tomorrow on That's Football. But I am going to get straight into that. I do want to talk about the Ronaldo news, but I feel that we need a bit of positivity. And I think that we need to focus on incomings because, to be honest with you, we can talk about Ronaldo, but I'll come back to this point anyway. And I'll say Ronaldo wants to leave because we're not signing players. And so therefore, we should start talking off about signing players. Manscaped is needed on this de Jong deal, says Ray. We certainly need to show some balls in the transfer market. So let's look at where we are. When the going gets tough, United gets rough, says Nathan Koenig. Can I remember that? When the going gets tough, Ollie gets rough. I used to love that. Anyway, look, let's get into it. Where should we start? Should we start with Martinez? Should we start with Eriksen? Should we start with de Jong? Let's start with Martinez because it'll be very, very quick. Peter says, fresh out of knee surgery, Mark, have positive updates. Thanks as always. When is the United Stand tour? We're on the tour at the moment, but our tour, I think, is going to be in the autumn. I hope Ronaldo stays with him in the team. I think we have a chance of winning something this season if he does, says Rich. Okay, let me delve into some news. So it's difficult to get good news at the moment because most of the good journalists are on tour on flights to Australia at the moment. So it's been a bit of a down day. Plus United are flying at the moment. And but there is some journalists still hanging around in Europe and in the UK. So what I was told later on this afternoon, because obviously I knew this meeting was taking place between Ajax and Manchester United today. That was well mentioned by Romano and a few others. So what's happened in that meeting? So about 5 o'clock today, I put a couple of calls in to find out what's going on. On Lisandro Martinez, look, all I got told is there is literally a deal that's going to be announced and it can happen literally any time, I was told. The kicker is that it's United and they might take 2 weeks to do it. But there is a deal ready to be announced by Manchester United and it could happen in the next 5 minutes, in the next 5 hours or in the next 5 days. Lisandro Martinez is suspected to be a deal that United want to announce ASAP, and effectively that meeting with Ajax should, let's be real here. It is United. Ajax might just go, you're taking the piss. No, we've not resolved it, and then we have to have another meeting in a couple of days. But if that meeting goes to plan, then as soon as that meeting's over, it will be briefed to journalists, and some good journalists will come out and say deal done. So we know that is a deal that could happen any time. So that's where we are with Lisandro Martinez. As long as United don't mess it up or decide that they're not going to pay what Ajax want, then that is a deal that should happen, and we've been talking about that all day, and Charlie was on about it earlier. Eriksen's really weird because I asked about that, and what I was told about Eriksen is there's complications. They really want him to go on the tour. And I said, there's complications. It's July the 13th. It's 2 weeks. It's, when I say it with my mouth, it's 2 weeks he's been a free agent. Like, Eriksen was a player we were thinking that he was making his mind up with Brentford from the middle of June. July the 1st, he was a free agent. It's July the 14th tomorrow. It's 2 weeks of being a free agent and we haven't got this deal over the line. And I was saying, are there concerns around the medical? Because, God, we all wanted Christian Eriksen to be all right a year ago. We weren't even thinking about him playing football. And to see him back playing football for Brentford is just an amazing story. And I was told, no, that's not... There's no... I don't think that's the concern with United. I don't know, but nobody really knows. To be honest with you, nobody. I should have just said that from the start. Nobody knows why the Eriksen deal's taking so long. There's not been any real updates from anybody as to why it's taking so long. And I can't really understand it either. Imagine if Eriksen actually was a Brentford player and we had to agree a fee with them as well. We wouldn't get this deal done till Christmas. So I don't know what's happening with Eriksen. I really thought what day is it today? I'm lost. It's Wednesday today, isn't it? So I never thought, but when we were talking on Sunday, that by Thursday Eriksen still wouldn't be a player. Last Ten Hag interview said we're looking for midfielders and forwards. Does that mean Martinez is a midfield target, or that he considered that deal done? Says Mando. Well, no, Mando. I heard Charlie talking about this at 2:00. Lisandro Martinez is not a midfield target. Lisandro Martinez is the replacement for Timber, who was a centre-back target. Mark, isn't it disappointing to see a club with ambition like Chelsea buying everyone or rumoured with players, and then there's Man United doing nothing, says Chris. And we need to sign players as early as possible. Signing a new player in the last week is as good as not signing, says Red Devil. Mate, we're already past signing players as soon as possible. Like, I'd love to be positive about that, but even the most positive United fan knows we've messed this up. Like, hopefully we'll get the players we want, but we've messed this up. It's way too late. It's too late. Way too late. And, I think already, hopefully we're going to have a really good start to the season, but I think already, if things start to go wrong at the start of the season, we can already say, well, it's on the club for not getting the players in early enough to prepare. Ten Hag is lucky he's not an interim. Players would have backstabbed him and down tools already, says Val. And the United board could make scrambled eggs complicated, says Emily Derry. And Barca tour USA next week will be key. If De Jong gets on the flight, then Barca are playing. If he stays, then they are forcing him out, says Mandor. Right, look, we could talk about Eriksen and Martinez all night. I'm sure we'll come back to it with some of your comments. But I want to talk about Frenkie De Jong because I really do think that there's good information on De Jong and it's somehow being muddied. And you know me, I'll jump on an opportunity to blame the Glazers and moan about how the club's being run. And I really could here. It'd be so easy to say, I can't believe we spent 2 months on Frenkie de Jong. He doesn't want to come. It's a bad deal to do. He doesn't want to come. He's not going to come. We've made ourselves look embarrassing. Murta and Arnold look like a poster for Dumb and Dumber 3 out there in bloody Spain, and they're not even gone and got him. I could do all of those things. But I'm actually going to stand by the information, and I would have put the T-shirt on, but it's in the wash. Are we waiting to announce them with the away kits as Man Meat? I mean, maybe. Maybe we are. I don't know. But I agree completely with what Mandor says. I was talking to Alex Crook today from Talk Sport about a few deals, and I said to him, Friday's the big day because that's the day he's going on tour with Barcelona, and he was like, yeah, he agreed. He said that, Friday is the big day because if he's on that tour, that doesn't mean Barcelona want to sell him. And if Barcelona don't want to sell him, they'll find a way to keep him. I think wait and see what happens on Friday. But I'm also going to say every bit of information I've ever had about De Jong is that United are very confident they're going to get him, and they're still very confident they're going to get him. There is so many contrasts. I've seen people arguing Fabrizio Romano today. Fabrizio's a good lad, and he's not actually saying that this deal's not going to happen. He's just saying that he doesn't want to say it is going to happen at the moment. And there's a lot of people who are saying Man United have been told that he wants to come. I'm not going to go down that road. I'm just going to say this. Frankie de Jong, Manchester United still expect to do that deal. Even now, they still expect it. They're panicked because the transfer window is not going the way they want it to go. But they expect that deal to happen. And as much as I would enjoy slating the club's recruitment for what's been a terrible summer transfer window so far, I've always said that, you know, if Harry Maguire goes and plays 5 world-class games at the start of the season, I'll be really pleased for him. I want him to do well. It's not personal. I just don't think he's good enough, like some other players. And in relation to this board, I don't think it's good enough. But when it appointed Ten Hag, I applauded it. So I know that this board are confident that they're going to sign Frankie de Jong. And I know that the noise coming out from Spain about de Jong adamantly not wanting to join Manchester United is a lot to do with games of getting the money out of Barcelona. Effectively, he wants his money. Mark, in all honesty, do any other major clubs send their director and CAO publicly aboard to close a deal and then still not close it? Chelsea just closed Koulibaly in one day with new owners, so should he? Mark, do you think Antony is a realistic possibility? Also, do you think we should keep Tielemans or Neves as backup in case Frankie de Jong doesn't happen, says Arad. Welcome to the Members Club, it's Dave, and I would now stop trying to sign de Jong and go for Tielemans and Neves instead, says Darren. Well, that's your prerogative, but all I can say to you is that Manchester United are still very confident that they're going to sign Frankie de Jong. So you can say, well, if I was in charge, I wouldn't do this, I would do that. But why should United walk away on a deal that they're still very confident they'll get done? The problem is, and the problem with anything, is patience. I've got no patience with this transfer window, and I think many of you don't as well. And as Ivan says, move on, it's ridiculous now. I can't argue with that. If you think it's time to move on from this deal, then you may well be right. But I can tell you now that United are not going to move on, and they're going to stick to this deal. They will be forced to move on if he gets on the plane on Friday. But I don't think he's going to get on the plane on Friday, because another bit of information I had this evening from Barcelona, an outlet close to Barcelona, was that Barcelona want to sell him. Like, I put a tweet out earlier, and actually they contacted me. And I said, because they thought I was slagging Barcelona off, which I'm not. I just said that Barcelona, and you can check my feed, I said Barcelona are the opposite of the Glazers. They're both in debt, but the Glazers keep the money for themselves, whereas Barcelona spend. It's quite irresponsible for Barcelona to be saying that Frankie de Jong's got to take a pay cut and then be offering Lewandowski the earth to come and sign for them. It's going to implode. Like, I really enjoy surveying a situation on a human level, and I think because we've had bad summers in the past, people want to jump on that train. But it's really important to sometimes be pragmatic and look at individual problems. The whole transfer window is a joke from United, but that doesn't mean that every single deal is collapsing. Like, the de Jong deal could have been done 3 weeks ago. United would like to have done it 3 weeks ago, but they have no power. They've given Barcelona the offer they want, and they'll give de Jong the money he wants. But the realistic reason why Murta and Arnold have left Spain now is because they can't do anything else in Spain. They've agreed the fee with Barcelona, and Barcelona want to sell. But we can't persuade de Jong to come to us when Barcelona haven't laid it on the line that they don't want him anymore unless he takes a pay cut, and he doesn't want to take a pay cut. So really, United have done as much as they can do, and Barcelona want de Jong to take a pay cut that he doesn't want to take. So I, as I've said many times before, that's just like banging heads. At some point, something's gonna break, and I believe it will. So I retain my position, not through stubbornness, just through pure factual, evidential observation, that this deal will still happen, and I'm still 90% sure. If you think it's not going to happen, that's up to you. I respect it. But if you think it is going to happen, like me, then I respect that as well, because there is really no reason not to suspect it. And if you do have concerns, You're going to find out in 48 hours, because if he gets on that plane and goes to the US, why would he do that? The reality is that Barcelona will not want him on that plane because they want to sell him. Because they're just signing Koundé, they've just signed Rafinha, they want to sign Lewandowski, and they'd like Bernardo Silva as well. They're spending money and they're not making any money. And to make money, there's 55 million coming in from Manchester United. So let's wait and see. But I retain strong confidence. What would you think of Alan as an option in the midfield, says Jacob? I don't really think he's a massive... I think he's a massive drop-off from... I mean, he's a decent player, but I don't think it's what United should be looking at. Rory says, with Frankie de Jong, United must have the upper hand in the talks. Barca can't register Rafinha and Koundé if it goes through till they sell him. So Barca will budge and pay the deferred wages. Yeah, Rory, look, I think you've nailed it. Mike Cable, welcome to the Members Club. You've nailed it because it's not in our hands anymore. We've offered the money. Frankie de Jong, and I know you'll get... I think Fabrizio said it, other people have said it, United haven't sorted out personal terms with Frankie de Jong. Well, I did a video 2 weeks ago, and Frankie de Jong knows what he's getting from United. United have told him everything, and him and his agents are happy with it. So the personal terms won't take long. Effectively, Barcelona want Frankie de Jong to drop his wages to 250 grand a week, and United have said we'll give you over 300 grand a week. So the wages are not a problem. The thing that cheeses me off is that United were naive enough to put everything else on hold until de Jong's side. I agree with that, Emily. I'll never understand that. Even to this day, I don't really understand it. The only logical reason I think that United put everything on hold was because they don't have a lot of money. And somebody did ask, and I didn't answer, do I think we're going to get Anthony? Probably up until a week ago, I was 80% sure we were going to get Anthony because he desperately wants to come to United. And Erik ten Hag desperately wants him. But at the moment... You know, my concern with Anthony is two things. One, running out of time. As stupid as that sounds in the middle of July, there's only 6 weeks left. And secondly, budget. What is the budget? So I know that we're desperate to sign Anthony on a playing staff side. Ten Hag really wants him. And I know he's desperate to come to United. But the same thing happened with Sancho. Sancho was desperate to come to United and Solskjaer was desperate to sign him. But the club messed it up. So I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, I'm 100% sure we're going to get Anthony, because as we saw with Sancho, it took a year. Anthony might be a player for next summer. I hope not. We desperately need him. We've got no depth up front. And we're going to talk about Ronaldo in a minute, which, severely impacts that depth. Makes you think if Bayern had inside info when they said Barca won't be there for long. Ericsson may think about his game time or it's jersey time, says Srinvasin. Effie, welcome to Members Club. Do you worry of another Cavani type signing? Board may look at James Rodriguez or Dybala as a free option instead of spending 65 million euros on Anthony, says the Beast. Well, look, I'm loving this summer transfer window away from United. I've been really, really well briefed. I'd love to shout out the person who is watching the show who told me about Raheem Sterling at the start of June before anybody was talking about it. And Raheem Sterling has signed for Chelsea. You were probably on the Champions League watch-along when everyone was talking about Darwin Núñez being a United player. And I said that I've been told he's going to Liverpool. And within a week or two, he'd gone to Liverpool. There's a story going around now, which some of you might have seen, some you may have not, that Dybala's going to Roma. So I don't think we've ever been interested in... here he is. Big season for Rashford, says Robert McCormack. If you know, you know. And I think Robert's right as well. I'll give a shout out to Robert there. Top lad. And whether some people like it or not, Rashford is a player that's valued by Ten Hag. It's very clear he's valued by Ten Hag. And he will be given a lot of opportunities. And I've always been a fan of Rashford. I think there's a good player there. The only thing I would say about Rashford who don't rate him is I don't think he's as good as he thinks he is. I think Rashford thinks he's better than he is. And I think that's part of the problem. I think if he simplifies his game and gets back to what he's good at, he can get back to being a really good player. But what Rashford's good at is two or three things that he's amazing at, and he needs to focus at that. Shooting, getting past the player, and pace. And those three, shooting, getting past the player, and pace, are three very good assets that you can use to be a very good player. And that's what he needs to focus on. I don't think Dybala will be a player that comes to United if he ends up going to Roma. So, no. But Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say there. So, yeah, I think with Antony, we'll have to just wait and see. Lisandro Martinez will happen, Eriksen will happen, and I believe that Frankie de Jong will happen with very strong conviction, I believe it. But what I will concede is, if he gets on that plane on Friday, in a way, I'm glad that they're going on tour on Friday, Barcelona, because if he gets on the plane, it probably is over. But if he doesn't get on the plane, you know it's going to happen. So let's wait and see. And it's only 48 hours away. So let's just wait and see. Let's just confirm that we've got the story on Ronaldo, because I just want to bring this in as well. We've got... I should be able to put it up on the screen, actually. Let's have a quick look here. Where is it? There we go. Okay, so we go there, and then we go there, and it should come up on the screen. So Manu Sainz is a player. Is somebody who's apparently very close to the Ronaldo situation, and what he said, and I think it's via AS YouTube or something like that. This is apparently what's been said. Cristiano clearly wants to leave. He spoke with Ten Hag and told him that he was not convinced of the project, and there was no problem with him. Ten Hag couldn't convince Cristiano to stay. Now, that is sort of breaking, but it's really difficult to get clarity on it because the time at the moment in Australia is about 4 o'clock in the morning and people are flying. So it's really difficult to establish when this conversation with Ten Hag has taken place. Considering Ten Hag's press conference 48 hours ago, he said he hadn't spoken to Ronaldo. And then he's been preparing for a game and travelling. So I'm not convinced that that is fresh. I think that is the original stance. I don't think this has happened since Ten Hag's press conference on Monday when he said he hadn't spoken to Ronaldo yet. I don't think they've had that conversation yet. We know Ronaldo wants to leave, and we know he's not happy with the project, and we know he hasn't got a problem with Erik Ten Hag, but I don't think they've had that final conversation yet. So I'm not going to read into that too much. Now, there is a press conference tomorrow. I think it's about 4 o'clock in the morning UK time, so we'll be doing it at... I won't get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and do a press conference reaction. There's no point, but I'll probably do it at like 8 o'clock or something like that. But he will get asked about Ronaldo in that. So we'll get some clarity on this. But all I would say about the Ronaldo situation... Evening, Mark. Can we not hijack Koundé to piss Barcelona off, says Mikhail Roach? No, because Barcelona are in the Champions League, so we won't get it. I like to trim the yard to make the grass look bigger, says Rory. Okay. Use Manscaped, 20% off. Scan the QR code. But what I would say about the Ronaldo situation, and I don't know why I've just started doing that with my hand. I'm going to start doing it with that one. What I would say about the Ronaldo situation is that we're in trouble. Mason says allow him to leave. Oh, look, I'm a massive fan of Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't want him to leave. He's the GOAT. I love Ronaldo. I can't change that. And also, why should I change that? I get people telling me, why are you sticking up for Ronaldo? And I'm like, hold on a minute. I see people in the chat who stick up for Pogba, who's been inconsistent, who stick up for Maguire, who's been crap. Ronaldo was our best player last year. He was player of the year. I shouldn't be the one being questioned. Like, Ronaldo was our best player last year. I don't want him. Why would I want my best player to leave? So I don't really understand why I have to justify why I want Ronaldo to stay anyway. From a playing position, why would I want to lose our best player? So, of course I want him to stay. But, on top of that, if we lose Ronaldo, we are losing our best player and our best goal scorer. And I don't care whether you like his haircut, his social media, or what he said. That's a huge blow to any team. And what I'm thinking about here is I'm not thinking emotionally, I'm thinking pragmatically. I'm thinking about a team and a manager that's got no new signings apart from a left back. And you want to take something else away from him. If we had Lisandro Martinez, Antony, De Jong on tour and Eriksen on tour now, and Ronaldo wasn't there, it wouldn't be as bad, but it would still be a major problem. We don't have De Jong, Lisandro Martinez, Eriksen, Antony, and then we don't have Ronaldo either. This is a big, big problem for us because we only have Anthony Martial as a natural striker. And look, Martial could get injured, or more likely, he might be inconsistent and not good enough, like many of you have said. So this is a huge problem for Manchester United, and I feel that we've got to push our luck as far as we can. And what I mean by that is, I'm with Ten Hag on this. He said it in his last press conference. I'm planning and have been planning for a season with Cristiano Ronaldo. He's not for sale. And I would dig in on that as far as I could. And I would even speak to Ronaldo and say, how do we sort this out? And if Ronaldo says we can't, I'll say, well, you're not for sale, mate. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? You're not for sale. Because you are a legend of this club and these fans love you. Do you really want this to carry on for 2 months and go toxic? Because if you want to do that, I'll win and you'll lose. You're not for sale. And people say sell him, but I can't get on board with this because I just don't understand what you're hoping to achieve. We're struggling to sign one midfielder when we need two. We're overpaying on a centre-back because we left it too late. We may not even have the money for Anthony. And you lot are saying, sell your best striker. For what? For what? Where are you going to pull this from? Are you going to go for a walk down the road to the top-class striker tree and pick us a new one that's nice and fresh? Like, I get it. I get the whole, I feel hurt that a player wants to leave my club. But you don't feel hurt that Jong doesn't want to come to your club. You're still saying come here. And also, how are you replacing Ronaldo? Please tell me. We haven't even replaced Pogba and Matic yet. And you're creating problems. You are the guy or the girl, and we're in a dinghy and we're sinking and we've got loads of holes. And I'm looking around hoping you're scooping water out, and you're not. You've got your little penknife out making another hole. What you bloody hell are you on about? Sell Ronaldo. What? Give me another problem to solve. Why? Don't sell Ronaldo. Keep fucking Ronaldo here. I don't want another huge problem to deal with because I'm already dealing with these big bloody holes that Arnold and bloody Murta can't solve. Don't give me another hole. We may as well just jump into the water and get eaten. Like, I get it. I really do get why people think it's time for Ronaldo to be sold because he wants to go. But we're Manchester United. And I'd love to be saying we're Manchester United, he shouldn't be leaving Manchester United. But what I actually mean is we're Manchester United. We couldn't go into Tesco and buy a meal deal with a tenner. Like, we are absolutely shit at signing players. And you want us to go and have to replace Ronaldo. With what? Where are we going to get this striker from? Where are we going to get it from? Because I'm all ears. Where's this striker coming from? And then when you find a striker for me, like Skamaka or whatever, I'll say, right, where's the 60 million coming from then? Because that's the most important thing. And also, where's the time coming from? Because we're working on De Jong and Lisandro Martinez and Eriksen. You want me to go and get a striker? Oh, we'll do that next month then. Like, we have to be in a position where Ten Hag is supported. And this is why he wants Ronaldo to stay, because he knows exactly what I'm talking about here. It's not simple to lose your best player and then replace him when you can't even get the players in he asked for in the middle of May. I believe Martinez will play centre-back this season, but a 6 next season once Timber comes in. He's similar to Edson Alvarez, but a much better defender, says Tristan. I wouldn't mind seeing the evolution of Martin players. Why are we always surprised that our signings get completed at the end of the window, says Frederick. Evening, Mark. We have another problem. Manscaped sponsor City Extra Channel. Time for a new sponsor, the traitor, says Brad B. But to be fair to Manscaped, they don't discriminate. It's basically for men. If you've got a penis, they're there to trim around it. I know that sounds really blunt, but you know they don't discriminate on what team you support. It's trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. Mark, will you see Mason play for us again? Have you seen or heard any news about him? Says Edward. I really don't like talking about Mason Greenwood, Edward. And I know you've done a super chat, so I'm going to deal with it head on and maturely. He's on. I nearly said he's on loan. He's on bail for a serious offence. End of conversation. Like, talking about whether he'll play for United again is completely insensitive to the victim in that case, or the victim in those sort of offences that would be offended by us talking about a player who's on bail for serious offences playing for Man United. Who knows? But I wouldn't look for answers at the moment. He's on bail for a serious offence. Predicting or hoping or anything like that is just completely irresponsible. Mark, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Mark, we all love Ronaldo and would want him to stay, but as he wants to leave, I'd rather be successful elsewhere than miserable here, says Karamu. But you know what? I love Ronaldo, and I'd love him to play elsewhere as well, if that's what he wants to do. But I've got to think of Man United first. Why does it benefit me for Ronaldo to go and have a good time at Bayern Munich or Chelsea? Oh, you go away and have a great time. Yeah, don't worry. I know you lived here last year and the house is on fire, but you go and live next door in the lovely mansion while we suffer. No, he's got a contract for 2 years. He's a Manchester United player and we've got to keep him. And I completely agree with why he wants to go. The ambition and the transfer window, it's frustrating for us. Imagine if you're Cristiano Ronaldo, you've just had to suffer one of the worst seasons of your career where you performed with a team that couldn't be arsed. You go on holiday, you think they're going to sign players, you look and they've done nothing. Absolutely nothing. There's been no effort by this club to keep Ronaldo because they've not brought any players in. Is there a conversation to have about a certain player not in the squad? It's a sensitive topic. I feel this has had a huge impact on the club, says Argent. I think you're talking about Mason Greenwood again, aren't you? Well, you can have a grown-up conversation about the absence of a player like that, but a club like Manchester United should be able to roll with those punches and make changes. Mark, I love the fact that players say the training is great because ultimately when they fail and aren't good enough, they can't blame Ten Hag, says Ray. Welcome to Members Club, gone for good. Ronaldo doesn't want to be here. Disappointing. De Jong doesn't want to come. Yet Martinez and Antony do. Make it make sense, says Ray. Well, I think the reason it makes sense, and I'll make it make sense for you, Ray, is that Antony and Lisandro Martinez are playing in the Eredivisie. And Borussia Dortmund's a step up from them because it's in a more competitive league. Ajax is a ceiling club. If you're a good player for Ajax, you're going to leave. You always are, going back to years. Ronaldo is one of the greatest players in the world and doesn't want to play in a team that's got no ambition and not signing players in the Europa League. And Frenkie de Jong is 25 in the middle of his career playing for Barcelona in the Champions League and doesn't want to leave it. So that's why you've got two players. I don't think you can say Martinez and Antony are better for us than de Jong and Ronaldo. The reason Ronaldo and de Jong don't want to be at United is because United have been crap for 9 years and look like they might continue. And they would rather stay or be somewhere that is more successful and befitting of their talent. If he wants to leave, let him go. Could be a blessing and reminds me of when we sold Ruud van Nistelrooy years ago without replacing him. Rest of the team stepped up and could do now. Josh and Armitis, I've got to call this out because your statement is beautiful. It's beautiful in the sense that let him go, let other players step up. Have you looked at United's squad on that tour? If Martial gets injured, Ahmad's up front. We haven't got any strikers to step up. When Van Nistelrooy went, we had players to step up. We had Rooney, we had Ronaldo. I can't remember who else we had at that time. But, I think Zaha might have come in by then as well. Louis Zaha. But we don't have any replacements for Ronaldo. If Ronaldo goes, you've got to go and sign somebody. And if Ronaldo goes, we won't get much money for him. So it's not like we're going to get 100 million and then we can spend 100 million on someone else. It's a false economy for it to be a good decision for Ronaldo to leave United. Worst case scenario, we're not setting a 50 to 60 million tag for Ronaldo, just like Lewandowski, says Manmit. And two questions. One, De Jong alone or Tielemans and Sangare? Two, can we start counting Phil Jones' salary as part of the dividends, says Mario Franco. De Jong alone or Tielemans and Sangare? Mario, I think most people would say Tielemans and Sangare, but for me, I would say De Jong because it's what Ten Hag wants. I can't be behind this manager and then not be behind him wanting De Jong. Look, I'm not behind him on Harry Maguire being the captain because I've got the evidence myself with my own eyes that Harry Maguire is not a good captain. But on signings and style of play, De Jong has to come in because that's what Erik Ten Hag wants. Mark, could we bring Osimhen and Raul Jimenez if Ronaldo wants to leave? Wait, where are you getting the money for that from then, MM? Have we won the lottery? Also, Hugo should be given a chance in the senior squad. He's not even on the tour. All these people talking about Charlie McNeil and Joe Hugo, I think they've got great futures, but they're not even on the tour. And you want to play them in the Premier League. Piers, welcome to Members Club. All I'm saying with Ronaldo is I don't want him to go, and I think we should make him stay because it's going to leave us in a right mess if he goes. But the second thing I'm saying is, how are we replacing him? Because I think there's loads of do-gooders out there saying, get rid of him if he doesn't want to be here. But how are you replacing him? Where's the money coming from? And who's available to replace our best striker? I completely agree with you, Mark. Manchester United comes first. His contract, he's under contract, says Mikael Roach. Mark, what are the realistic chances of signing Antony, says Mojo. Yes, please do chuck your questions in. Can I just say as well, we've got nearly 24,000 people watching, so please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. I ask you that because we're only 20 subscribers away from 382,000 on the road to 400k. So please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. We're live every night at 8 o'clock, every morning at 10 o'clock. I will be doing a press conference reaction early tomorrow morning, probably around sort of 8 o'clock, sometime like that, because the press conference is happening overnight. From Kashmir, would you take Matty Cash at right back, says Sahil? I think Matty Cash is a good player at Villa. I think, you know what, for a moment I nearly said no, but there's an argument to say that Matty Cash is better than Dalot. He's certainly better than Wan-Bissaka. So I think there's better options, and I don't think that he's a player that Erik ten Hag would want, but I don't think you make a bad idea. Going back to what was said about Anthony, I've already spoken about it, Mojo. I know that we want Anthony in the sense that Ten Hag does, and I know that Anthony wants to come to United, but, you know, where's the Jong? Where's the Sandro Martinez? Where's Eriksen? None of these players are United players yet. So how could I sit here and say we're going to sign Anthony? I don't know, mate. I think it's what Ten Hag wants. It's what Anthony wants. But Ajax aren't going to be easy to deal with. And to be fair to Ajax, they haven't shifted. Remember a couple of weeks ago when they said they wanted 80 million euros for Anthony and 50 million euros for Lisandro Martinez, and everyone said you can piss off, you're not having that much. We are going to pay 50 million euros for Lisandro Martinez, so I don't think we're going to get Anthony cheaper. How would you feel if De Jong doesn't come and Ronaldo leaves, says Hassan? Gutted. Gutted personally, gutted for you, and gutted for Ten Hag. I mean, a lot of my... I just feel not sorry, because that's not right, because he is happy in the job. But I do feel bad for Ten Hag that he's not being backed. And you know what? Manchester United really are happy with Ten Hag, but they've not backed him. You have to deliver on your end. You can like Ten Hag and say that you're backing him as a board member, but when you don't deliver him the signings, and he's on week 3 of pre-season and he hasn't got his signings in, you're not backing him. You're making his job harder. It's like the milkman not turning up with the milk. He's eating cereal and it's dry. He needs the milk. He needs it delivering. And United are not delivering. And already it's too late. This is like opening your Christmas presents on New Year's Eve. We should have had them a week ago for Christmas. Mark, I think one of McFred needs to be sold. I would sell Scott, but this club won't. Yeah, I would keep Fred over McTominay. Yeah, Lash, I would. Definitely. Net spend is 0 so far, says Jimmy. Look, I'm very intrigued by net spend. I'm very intrigued to see what our net spend is going to be, but we won't know about that till August the 31st. And even if we're top of the league, playing the best football I've ever seen, this has got nothing to do with the football. We could win our first, I don't know how many games we've played by August the 31st. I would hazard a guess at 4. If we win our first 4 games, concede no goals and score 20, and we're top of the league, and everyone's riding high, and our net spend's below 100 million, I'm still going to do a video absolutely tearing apart this football club, because it doesn't matter to me. I've seen us win the Champions League with the Glazers. I loved it. Moscow, loved it. I've seen us win 3 Premier League titles in a row under the Glazers. Loved it. But it never stopped me thinking the Glazers were bad owners. And if their net spend is below £100 million, it's a bloody shit show, to be honest, no matter how well we start the season. Because it will come back and bite us. It always does. Do you think we will see more of James Garner this season, or would he once again go on loan, says Aradia? I'm hoping, I don't know what the situation is with James Garner, but I'm hoping that he can get to play some games, because there's plenty of game time to be had. We saw with Iqbal and Savage yesterday, they got 45 minutes because McTominay and Fred are the only other 2 midfielders we've got. So I'd love to see Garner. I'd like to see Garner and Donny play as a 2, actually. The game on Friday against Melbourne Victory is going to be a bit of it's the worst game of the tour, really. In fact, it's the worst game of pre-season. Rayo Vallecano, Atletico Madrid, Crystal Palace and Villa will all be harder games than Melbourne Victory. And look, I think we're just going to have to enjoy that, because I would guarantee that nearly every player should be man of the match. Like, I can't imagine as misplacing many passes or having a low possession or not having many shots. It's about fitness, that game. That's a confidence booster. So I hope Garner gets back in soon, but I don't know what injury he's got. It's Skills says, I've missed a lot of the show. Sorry if we get to De Jong. Do you think we will play Van der Beek and De Jong? Also, what percentage are you on Anthony? I'm still 80% on Anthony. But that could drop. The longer it takes us to do other deals, the less likely it is to get Anthony. Although what I would say on a positive with Anthony is that we've always known that this injury he's carrying means he's not going to be fit till the end of the month. So there's not a rush there. But I don't think Ajax are going to be easy to negotiate with. What do you think of Alexander Isak as a striker? Says Darren. I think he's a good player for Newcastle, but not for us. I think it's too much of a risk for us. I think for Newcastle, it makes a lot more sense than it does for us. Shavam says, Frenkie de Jong is Erik ten Hag's first choice marquee signing, and if United cannot get this over the line for whatever reason, that's a sackable offence, says Shavam. I said it yesterday. If we don't get Frenkie de Jong, and I believe we will, if we don't get Frankie de Jong, Richard Arnold and John Murtagh may as well sack themselves, because they will never get over those images. Like, they will be a meme. That picture of them in that outside that restaurant or wherever they were in Barcelona with a coat over their shirt, you know, they were there to get de Jong. If we don't get de Jong, they'll never get over that. And they will get de Jong. I'm convinced they're going to get de Jong, but they would be sackable, yeah. You can't bring a new manager in and then not get his number one signing. I think Martinez will be great. He was Eredivisie Player of the Year and had the most passes in the Ajax team. A good centre-back, better than Harry, says Humesh. Look, Lisandro Martinez, if you are a member of the Members Club, our latest upload is a deep dive into Lisandro Martinez, comparing him to Maguire, Varane and Lindelof. It's one of the most enjoyable videos I've done, and it really does give you an insight into how good Lisandro Martinez is, comparing him to things like heading ability, passing, the lot. So he's a very exciting signing, and Ajax don't want to lose him. Mark, do you think we see some insane swap deal for Ronaldo for Neymar, shirt seller for another, and a bad reason not to buy Anthony? Horrible thought, right? Says Leo J. I mean, Leo, I don't know. I don't think we'd do a swap deal for Neymar, but because why would Neymar want to come and play in the Europa League? Like, this is the thing. People talk about let's go and get Lewandowski. We are in the Europa League. We're not a very attractive club. Like, we're not going to go and get a Neymar or a Lewandowski. But I do think if Ronaldo goes, you've got to be... I think you're absolutely intelligent, because you've got to be looking at a swap. If Ronaldo goes to Chelsea, it should not be allowed. He shouldn't go to a Premier League club. But if he goes to Bayern or Chelsea, you've got to be looking at a swap. Because we can't replace Ronaldo. So we may as well get a player out of it. Now, I mean, if it was Bayern Munich, God, take your pick. They probably wouldn't let us have anyone. But if it was Chelsea, I'd probably go Kante or Werner, someone like that. I wouldn't take Ziyech, because Ziyech then becomes Anthony. And I think Ziyech's going to the Serie A anyway, isn't he? Or he may already have gone to AC Milan. But yeah, that might be the way out of it. But we shouldn't be selling him to Chelsea. We absolutely shouldn't be selling him to Chelsea. Welcome to the Members Club, Alex and Andre. Thank you very much. Make sure you check out the Lisandro video. I can see why Ralph left, since there was so much bad blood, but should have gotten specialist recruiters to support Erik ten Hag. He's a coach first and foremost, and had Van der Sar and Overmars supporting him, says Nee. Great point. You know, Ajax's recruitment was very good, and it wasn't Erik ten Hag's job to recruit players. You've got to put a team around him. It's not fair. We're not supporting him properly at the moment. Stephen says, based on his post-match comments, I think Erik ten Hag sees the same things as the fans regarding the limited talent of some of these players. Says Stephen, look, Erik ten Hag, I like to talk a good game. You like to talk a good game. I can watch a game of football and I can see what things that aren't happening. I can see if a fullback's not overlapping. I can see if the midfielders aren't taking the ball off the back four and forcing them back to De Gea or hitting a long ball, which we saw yesterday and also all of last season. I can see if Bruno Fernandes is having a bad game, or if he's having a bad game because he's not getting the ball like yesterday, like Donny didn't yesterday. I can see Martial living off scraps because we're not creating enough chances. But Erik ten Hag is an infinitely better coach than me or you or most other people, and there is no way in a million years he can't see the things I've just described there, and a hell of a lot more. So look, I've got trust and faith in Erik ten Hag. He is a football man, he is a coach. We've got to support him. He might end up having to use a midfield two of McFred at the moment because there's nothing bloody else he can use. Doesn't necessarily think it's the main... The simplest thing here is, when he picked McFred yesterday, I put a tweet out with a laugh out loud or a smiley face next to it because I was taking the piss. Some people were getting really pissed off by it. My stance on that is that he doesn't want to pick McTominay and Fred or McFred. He doesn't want to pick McFred. He wants Frankie de Jong. He's not going to put Frankie de Jong on the bench, is he? He wants to pick Frankie de Jong, which means one of them is getting benched. Now, take your pick of who you want to be benched. For me, I'd rather McTominay got benched and we keep Fred, but one of them is getting benched. Last year, that wasn't the case. Pogba was in and out of the team. Matic was too old. Donny was on loan. So last year, every time the team sheet came out, you get the cold sweats because you'd be thinking he's probably going to pick McFred. This year, that's not going to happen as long as we get the bloody players in, which is why I want the bloody players in. Even if Ronaldo and Martial stay, don't we need a backup? Yes, this is a great point from the Beast. If Ronaldo goes, we've only got Martial. If Ronaldo stays, we've only got Ronaldo and Martial. We do need 3 strikers. We've only got 1 at the moment. If we need a backup striker, would you consider Mitrovic from Fulham? 44 goals. I mean, he's not a bad third choice striker, the beast, but I don't think we'd look at him. I watch Aussie A-League all the time and think Melvic would be harder than you think. Melbourne Victory will be harder than you think. I hope they are, Wolfie. I really do. I'm not expecting much. But I'll be fair, when we go to the US and we play some of the MLS teams, I don't expect much anyway. So I hope you're better than I'm expecting. I really do. I'm not being disrespectful. I just don't think you're going to be very good. That sounds disrespectful. Hi, Mark. Have you heard anything on Lema? I would be perfect alongside De Jong. I hope we can get 2 midfielders. Otherwise, top 6 will be tough. Well, look, I do my Man United FIFA career mode most afternoons at about 3 o'clock on Twitch. And my midfield too, for the last 2 seasons, I think, maybe even 3, has been Lema and De Jong. I like Lema. That's why I bought him on FIFA. I like the player, and not because he's half decent on FIFA. He's to be fair, he's by the by on FIFA. He's not amazing. He just suits my system, and I think he'd suit United's system. And there was another story today that we've known this all summer, that Leipzig do not want to sell Lema to Bayern. They would love to sell him to the Premier League. He's got 1 year left on his deal. Lema wants to go to Bayern, but they would love to sell him to the Premier League. Now, there's 2 things for me here. One, he's available for 20 million quid, and I think he would be very suitable to the way that we play football. I don't know why we're not in for him. Apart from the fact that if Rangnick was in charge, I think we would be. So that's one reason. The second thing is, why is he going to Bayern Munich? Bayern Munich have got Goretzka, Kimmich and Gravenberch. And many others, but they're 3 off the top of my head. Why does he want to go to bloody Bayern Munich? I can't see where he'd even start. So I don't know why we're not on this deal. Maybe Arsenal, bloody Arsenal will probably swoop in and get him now. But I don't know why we're not in for Lema. It's a name I haven't mentioned for a long time. But back in May, when we were talking about the budget and who we'd buy, Lema was always a player I put in. But I don't think United are going to do that deal. And maybe it's just sour grapes from the Rangnick sacking. I don't know, but I would do that deal, yeah. I think Frankie de Jong's camp is smart. They're telling Barca either pay up or Frankie de Jong stays on the current contract and ruins your future plans. By the way, excited about seeing Nani playing against us in Melbourne too, says Sakin. You clearly understand what's going on, Sakin. Welcome to the Goldbridge Club, the 90% club. I'm absolutely convinced that we're signing Frankie de Jong. I've spoken to a lot of people about this over the last few weeks. I've said on this channel for about 3 weeks that this deal is not on hold because of United negotiating. It's on hold because Barcelona will decide when this deal happens. And it's been proven correct, because Barcelona will decide when this deal happens because we've already done the fee. This is about Barcelona and Frankie de Jong sorting out their differences. And when that gets sorted out, we'll get Frankie de Jong. And you're absolutely correct. This is about Frankie de Jong publicly saying he wants to stay at Barcelona, so he's not the bad guy. There has been, look, if you're interested in this, there has been a bit of PR from Laporta, the president, saying that they don't want to sell De Jong. And basically, what they were trying to do is paint De Jong as the bad guy. It was only a couple of weeks ago this was being said by the Barcelona president, we don't want to sell De Jong. So if you're De Jong and you're hearing the Barcelona president say they don't want to sell you, and they're making out that you want to go, and you have to come out and say, I don't want to go. Throw it back to them. Because then Barcelona fans are like, well, the president says they don't want him to go. He doesn't want to go. Why are Man United here negotiating a fee? Because Barcelona want to sell. And De Jong's playing a clever game because he's saying, I don't want to go, because the minute he accepts he's going, he might miss out on the money that he's owed. So it's all a pantomime, really. And I think it'd be interesting to see who wins. The team sheet scares this year. If McFred, come on, Frankie de Jong and Martinez, hopefully he slots into next to Varane, says Ben. Andrew says, Mark, for goodness sake, I know you're live at the moment, but check Twitter. Romero, important update on Twitter. Please, can you check and see what on earth is going on, says Andrew Chow. You're not being disrespectful about MLS. I'm from US and it's miserable to watch, says Stephen. Keep up the content, Mark, and please call my mate Adam at Wally. He's gutted we've let Henderson go. At least he's backing Ten Hag, so not all bad, says Andrew. Yeah, the Hendo hype at least he'll be gone for a year. Although it won't if he plays well for Forest. Are you concerned after 2 weeks with the squad that Erik ten Hag still sees a lot of potential in the current players? It's just, what is Erik ten Hag going to say? What is he going to say? He can't come out and say this lot a load of shit. Like, he has to do that. So Gerard Romero has basically come out and said, I mean, look, Gerard Romero is a character, but I can't take anything he says seriously because it gets contradicted. And as I say, every day he seems to say it's happening. And I don't know whether he's talking about his bowel movements, that he needs a poo, or he's talking about transfers. But he's saying now that De Jong's agent is interested in placing his client elsewhere because of how the player's been treated by Barcelona. But that quote, whether it's from tonight or 2 months ago, it's this. What does that even mean? It doesn't even mean anything at this stage. What does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. Like, oh, De Jong's agent's interested in talking to other clubs. He's been talking to us for weeks. So it's just not an update, is it? The update we need is, are you on that plane to America with Barcelona on Friday? And, you know, that's all I can say about that. You know, I think we're in a world of. I think we're in a world of repetition. You know, repetition, and look, I'll give you the breaking news on Frankie de Jong because this is the public line at the moment. He doesn't want to leave Barcelona, but he doesn't want to leave Barcelona because he wants the money out of Barcelona, and Barcelona want to give him a pay cut. That's where we're at. I mean, updates about De Jong's. I mean, that's amazing, isn't it? De Jong's agent wants to talk to other clubs now because he's not happy with Barcelona. Well, hello, he's been doing that for 2 months with United. So, look, I'm absolutely convinced that Frankie de Jong will leave Barcelona for Manchester United. I actually think the only way this won't happen is if he goes somewhere else. I don't think he's staying at Barcelona. You know, I had a bit of a fear about Chelsea at one point. That could still become a fear, but I definitely don't think we're going to be saying he's a Barcelona player. Fee agreed, personal terms agreed. De Jong is happy to join, but he doesn't want to walk away from 17 million and is willing to stay to get what he's owed, says Sean. Yeah, I think that is the situation, pure and simple. So there we go. But look, we have got Erik ten Hag's interview press conference for the Melbourne Victory game coming up in the early hours of the morning, and I think we will get some clarity on the Ronaldo situation there. I don't think we'll get any clarity on De Jong because he'll just say, I don't talk about players that are other clubs' players, and I don't think we'll get any clarity on Lisandro Martinez. I wouldn't be surprised if I was live again tonight on Lisandro Martinez. I wouldn't be surprised if we got a deal done tonight, but then again, I wouldn't be surprised if it was next month. I know we laugh, but there is an element of realism around United at the moment, isn't there? I really wouldn't be surprised if we announced something really quickly. But on the other hand, I wouldn't be surprised if we took ages on it. Somebody just said there has been an update on Christian Eriksen. Manchester United hoping to complete a deal for Christian Eriksen by the end of this week. So yeah. Why it's taken us 2 weeks, I got no idea. I've got no idea why it's taken so long. It's crazy. It really is. Please smash a like on the video and make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner. You're all legends for tuning in. Really enjoy these sort of shows where it's a little bit all over the place, but we cover a lot of things. And don't forget, we will be doing a watch along on Friday morning. It's an 11 a.m. kickoff. So I you know, it's not quite the same as the US tour when you're getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, but I am enjoying the pre-season games. Bit of escapism. But yeah, just watch out. I might be live again tonight. I don't know. Luke, welcome to the Members Club. Obviously, I'll only be live if something happens. But I did get told this evening that literally they could announce a deal any time. And that is coming out of United. Literally any time a deal could be announced. But as we know, that could be 3 weeks away. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. And don't forget to check out Manscaped. You can scan your code with your camera, or you can just go straight through the link in the description. 20% off and free worldwide shipping. You'll really like it. It's really hot at the moment as well. You'll really enjoy being a little bit lighter down there and looking a bit bigger. Thanks for watching. Take care. I'll speak to you all in a bit. Thanks for